Let's talk about change this morning. Change is a funny thing. For a couple days here in the Philadelphia area, I was waking up, ripping my blankets off, laying there with just a t-shirt on, hot, waking up hot. The weather becoming spring really quick. And I'm like, yes, finally, winter is on its way out. And then I'm opening up the windows in the house, airing everything out. It smells good, breeze coming through. It's wonderful. This morning, I wake up, it's freezing. Put a long sleeve Henley on, close the windows. It's kind of chilly. Fed all the cats. And from what I understand, it's going to be cool for a few days. And it's that weird, in the beginning of the season time, where don't put your sweaters and your blankets away yet. Don't pull out all the summer clothes yet. Keep the shorts up on the top shelf. But just as I was preparing for nice weather, I'm thinking, maybe I'll take my bike out for a ride. And I'm starting to think of gardening already. What am I going to plant this year? And then a cool day hits. And it's actually cold right now. Cold and rainy. And there was a little premature, hopeful acting going on. So I had to kind of slow that down a little bit. I remember one year I planted too early because they always say, in the region that I live in the Northeast, in the northern mid-Atlantic states, you don't plant until Mother's Day. That's just a rule. If you plant before Mother's Day, unless you start seeds inside, but if you plant outside before Mother's Day, then the reality is there could be a freeze and you lose everything. And I did that one year. I got a little too hopeful, a little too excited, and I didn't have patience. It was before the big beard days, because I have patience now. And I lost a lot of small little sprouted plants as a result of acting too soon. Timing is everything, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about change and being ready for change. When you put yourself in situations where you have to act on purpose, you're exercising your change muscles. I always tell people you need to be comfortable with uncertainty, even if you create that uncertainty by taking a risk. And that's important. Some people the old folks used to say a phrase about other people. And when I say the old folks, I'm talking about my parents and my grandparents and people older than that. I was lucky to grow up with great-grandparents. That was kind of cool. Very cool. And a lot of people don't have that. But there was a phrase that people used to say about a person who was like stubborn. It was a phrase that went like this: they were set in their ways. Did you ever hear that? Someone saying, oh, they're not going to change, they're set in their ways. If you do anything, think about it, because remember, 2017 is the year that you get unstuck. If there's anything you can work on, does anyone in your life know you as somebody who is set in their ways? Which means you're unwilling to change, You act out whenever change approaches. You go through all kinds of convulsions, mental convulsions. You don't like change. I would say it's like going to the gym and working out. You got to cross-train your muscles. We learned that. We now know that interval training is the key to muscle growth. You're shocking the muscles. You're surprising the body. And the body responds by releasing things. I was just listening to a video with David Asprey, the guy who created bulletproof coffee. And he calls it biohacking, where your body adapts to the cold, to the heat, to changes. Like if you're walking or you're jogging, sprint for 60 seconds and then stop. Your body adapts. If you are working out, cross-train the muscles, surprise them, shock them, get them used to change. The best thing that you can do in 2017 to get yourself unstuck is to become comfortable with change and make change a regular activity. Taking a different route to work. I'm dead serious about this. This is how you kind of hack the brain a little bit. Because you get in ruts. Ruts are bad. Ruts, no good. I'm dead serious. My kids used to think I was crazy. One night, I set the table for dinner and put chopsticks down instead of forks, like a fork and a knife and a spoon. Chopsticks. And they're looking at me, what am I supposed to do with these, Dad? And I'm thinking, we're biohacking tonight. We're going to be using a different part of our brain. And I'll never forget, one day, the kids were at the house, and I had classical music on. And I normally was playing rock and roll. And again, Dad, what is this? We're biohacking. Do things that are different. Get yourself comfortable with change. You don't just cross-train the muscles. You cross-train the brain. Remember we talked about cross-training the beard for grooming and growth. Cross-train the brain for change. The body can go anywhere. The brain can't. You know why? Because you won't let it. You won't let it. A lot of it has to do with maturity. I mean, I hated lima beans and peas when I was growing up. Why do I love them now? Love them. It's crazy. As a matter of fact, I'm at the point in my life, and it's been like this for at least 20 years. I will eat anything. There's nothing I don't like. Nothing. So, I'm looking at the kitties outside. There's one cat that is about to give birth. I would say like any day now. One of the wildcats. I love watching them. It's amazing. I try to catch them and get them fixed so there's no more reproducing going on, but you can't fool Mother Nature. If you're old enough, you might remember a commercial that said, it's not nice to fool with Mother Nature. Well, that's what change is all about. Fooling with Mother Nature. Fooling with this. This body can go almost anywhere and adapt, but not this brain. Take a different route to work. If you're not in a culture that usually uses chopsticks, I eat Asian food a couple times a week, so I'm using chopsticks in the same way that most people use a fork. Use chopsticks one night. It's going to frustrate the heck out of you. It'll take you twice as long to eat. But do it. Start exercising parts of your brain that you don't normally use. Go to a concert that you wouldn't normally go to. Put on music that you wouldn't normally listen to. It's going to help you in the long run. It's going to make you feel uncomfortable too. You're going to feel like you're sleeping on... You're going to feel like you're sleeping on scratchy wool. You're going to flinch. You're going to squirm mentally. You're going to feel uncomfortable. That's a good sign. Become comfortable with change, even if you have to force some of that change. Let me tell you what happens when you force change on yourself on a regular basis. When things happen to you, you're more resilient. You're not as surprised. You're not as shocked. You don't get shocking phone calls. Nothing knocks you off your spot because you're used to change and what to do with it, how to deal with it. You brought it upon yourself. You create that change. Think about that today. It's going to help you in 2017, the year that you get unstuck.